The Moneyline Mac Top 25 edition of the College Basketball Experience on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Use that sign-up code TCESGPN to get your 50% deposit up to $1,000. That is the Underdog Fantasy promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college hoops, college football, and NFL with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM today. Welcome, everybody, into the College Basketball Experience. Moneyline Mac Top 25 just got done ranking all these teams, and I am ready to fire away and break down why I have each team, where they're at, who's got some big games upcoming, kind of recap the week. Gave out all my teams of the week on my at Moneyline_Mac Twitter, so go check out all that good stuff. Pick show will be coming up in 20 minutes, so this is a little bit like your appetizer headed into the preview show for Monday's action. But first, I'm Moneyline Mac, aka the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. Also known as Mac Tonight over here at the College Basketball Experience. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We got night games going on right now. I have Cal, Weber, and then Lowell. So I have the dogs laid in the windows. So hopefully they all get across the finish line. I know Cal and Weber are winning outright right now. So we'll see if they can hold on. And we'll be able to see what happens with UMass Lowell later going to Washington. But it is a new week. We have about 4 to 5 games of a sample size of every single team. And it's still a little hard, in my opinion, to rank these teams. Like, there's some teams that have looked really, really good, but they haven't played a neutral site or they haven't played a road game yet. So it's kind of hard to gauge. I don't like to penalize teams for losing on the road. And we've had some really good teams hit the road and eat shit, and that's what happens in college basketball. It's hard to win on the road, and that's why a lot of teams run away from scheduling these road spots. So I did the best with the sample size I have right now. Before I get into the top 25, let's pay the bills around here. Because, well, you need to get on over there and download the SGPN app today. It's free completely. And also leave a 5-star review over at the College Basketball Experience. Helps the algorithm, helps the show grow. Help us help you by getting over there to the Spotify, Apple. Leave a review. And also make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. We're going to be here all year long, baby. And we're also brought to you by MyBookie, baby. MyBookie's back bigger, better than ever with their much improved website, great on the mobile devices. Like I said, on MyBookie right now, I love Cal, I love Weber. They're both looking all right now. Knock on wood, it's early. But yeah, hope you got in over there at MyBookie. Get on over there, mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000 and a $10 casino chip. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. All right, let's see how good I am with the technology this week, guys. Maybe I'm 1 for 1. All right, this one or let's go. I think this one's better. No, what's the one I just had? No. Where'd I go? Let's put it up. There you go. I think that's the best one. That way I'm not completely like up there at the top right. So let's break it down. Let's go from 25 to 1. I did have a new team in the top 25 here. I put the VCU Rams in there. I loved what I've seen from VCU so far. They've also won a game away from home. They were able to – they house Boston College up there in Maryland. Wins over Merrimack, wins over Loyola, Bellarmine. They've been absolutely rolling. So I had VCU at number 25, and they head to Charleston for the NTE. So we'll find out a little bit more about these Rams. And reminder, make sure you fire away in the chat. Who's too low? Who's too high? Where am I crazy? Where am I sleeping on? Etc. Let me know your thoughts. LSU had a hell of a week. I cracked them into the top 25. Like I said, I value road wins. They go to the Little Apple. I don't know how good K-State is, but it's still a hostile environment. Getting a road win. Matt McMahon and LSU sit at 3-0 right now in my top 25 at number 24. At number 23, I had Memphis. They've had 3 quality wins, man. Missouri, UNLV, Ohio. They went to Vegas and won outright on the road. So I liked what I've seen so far from Memphis and Penny Hardaway. I joke with, though, November and December, Memphis is different than January and February Memphis. So right now I got Memphis at 23. I dropped Arizona significantly. I didn't want to put them out of the top 25 because I don't want to knock teams for losing on the road, for actually scheduling road games. But they didn't look good defensively against Wisconsin. I had to drop them to 22. They sit at 2-1 right now. And that gets me into 21. I got Wisconsin. I think they're still making shots. Them scoring 103 points the other night. I don't think nobody had that on their bingo card, but Greg Garden Company, a nice little spot here, going 4-0 to start the non-conference. So I got them at number 21. At number 20, I got the Indiana Hoosiers. They look good. They got a lot of size. They paid for this roster, so they better be damn good, Mike Woodson. But they were impressive on Saturday against South Carolina. So I kept them right around 20. I think they're a solid Big Ten team. At number 19, I got the Creighton Blue Jays. Schedule's been a little bit softer, but they've held their own. They've looked more impressive lately. Blowout wins over Kansas City and Houston Christian this week. I think 19 is a fair place to put them for the time being. At number 18, I put the Florida Gators. I think the Gators actually have one of the sneakier good resumes. I mean, they go to Tallahassee, get a road win. They got a win over South Florida. They got a win over Jacksonville and Grambling. So I like what I've seen so far from the Gators. Todd Goldman Company, year number 3. Let's go Gators. At number 17 and 16 are a little bit of my preseason bias because I think these two teams are really good and they have just drilled whoever's been in front of them at home. Cincinnati and Texas Tech. Their average margin of win is like 40. I think that they're going to be good. It's a little bit of a projection here with them, kind of like Creighton. So I got Texas Tech and Cincinnati 16-17. Cincinnati did get a good win over Nichols by 50, which obviously is a good team because they beat Northern Kentucky. Texas Tech, on the other hand, house Wyoming by like 45. So they've done whatever's been in front of them. So I got Texas Tech at number 16. At number 15, I got the Baylor Bears. They've looked really good ever since the Gonzaga beatdown. They beat Arkansas on a neutral floor. They house Sam Houston, who's the Conference USA defending champs, and then they just beat Tarleton by about 900 points. Good God, that game was awful. So Baylor, number 15, I think they figured out some of their defensive woes. And number 14, I got Marquette. I moved Marquette up a little bit here. Good win at Maryland. I was impressed. They had looked like shit a little bit before that, but going into College Park, that place was absolutely rocking. I value road wins. So yeah, I got the Marquette Golden Eagles at number 14. I got the Dukies at number 13. I know everybody loves this team just because they're talented, but the first game that they actually play on a neutral floor, they dropped. So I don't know where to really rank them. Yeah, they beat the hell out of Maine, Army, and Wofford. I don't think any of those teams are very good. So Duke, I'll put them at 13. I need to see a little bit. But we're going to have a much better gauge on Duke here because they got Arizona and Kansas coming up. So kind of stay tuned on that Duke ranking. I think 13 is a fair assessment right now. At number 12, let's go over to Chapel Hill, their rival. They're 2-1. They dropped their only game really of substance against Kansas, but that game was at the Fog. They rallied from 16. I think actually they've looked better than Duke early in the season. So I'll put Carolina just a slight bit above Duke. Number 11, I bumped this team up today because I was impressed with St. John's 4-0, beating Richard Pitino, father versus son. They got size. They're old, athletic, good size at the guard position. And obviously they got Pitino. So I got St. John's at number 11. They've looked the part. From Pitino to Pitino's former stomping grounds, the Kentucky Wildcats coming at number 10. I had to rank them above Duke because they beat Duke on a neutral floor. Wins over Bucknell by 30, who's pretty good. Wright State, who's not a bad mid-major, as well by 40. Kentucky's looked apart. They're old, kind of like St. John's a little bit. And I like the continuity of Mark Pope and how this team's coming together. So give me the Wildcats at number 10. Let's go over to their rivals at number 9, the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee, man, they just continue to win games. There's no other ways to put it. They killed Austin Peay today, who was 3-0. Montana, they killed. They won at Louisville by 20. Death taxes Rick Barnes in the regular season. He's unbelievable. 4-0. I like what I've seen from the Vols. At number 8, Iowa State's a hard team to rank because they haven't really played anybody. I think Kansas City's all right, but a little bit more of my preseason projection with them just because they haven't done anything to hurt the ranking. I mean, they're 2-0, and they've won by 30-plus in both of them. So I'll just keep Iowa State at number 8. I do need to see them play somebody, and we will next week when they play Auburn and Maui. So Iowa State, I'll keep at number 8. At number 7, I got the Alabama Crimson Tide. I'm not going to panic just because they lost a game at Mackey. I thought Purdue would win that game. I think Alabama's still really talented. A little suspect how they're going to be how good they can be on the road with their style of play and if they can win a national championship. But as they continue to mesh these new pieces in with their team from last year, let's go with Alabama at number 7. Number 6, Houston, same thing as Alabama. I'm not going to knock them for losing to Auburn where they blew a 10-point lead. Houston's going to be a top 10 team all year long. A lot of experience. Kelvin Sampson, they're at number 6 for me. At number 5, Death Taxes, Matt Painter. I think everybody forgot how good the Purdue program was before Zach Edey. It wasn't just a Zach Edey program. Purdue's always been a really, really solid program. Gets a big win in front of that raucous crowd. Braden Smith's awesome. Fletcher Lawyer's awesome. Kaufman Wren stepping into his new role. They got a lot of pride in that program, and it showed on Friday night. Number 4, same thing with Iowa State. I don't really know what to do with UConn. They haven't played anybody, but I'm going to put them in my top 5 until they lose a game. So Dan Hurley and company, they head out to Maui here soon, but UConn and the Huskies are at number 4 for me. Number 3, I got the Kansas Jayhawks. I got my question marks a little bit with them still defensively, and they're different pieces, but they have a good resume. I mean, they beat Michigan State on a neutral. They beat North Carolina at home. They give Bill Self credit. They still schedule, and they still find ways to win. So Kansas, I still think, is a work in progress with all these new pieces. But, I mean, you got to keep them in the top 3 based off of the resume right now. Number 2, I got the Zags. Zags have done nothing but roll so far this year. They had one little scare against Arizona State, but other than that, drilling Lowell by 60, drilling Baylor by 40. Gonzaga arguably could be number 1, but I still have Auburn at number 1. Auburn has the best one of the year so far in college hoops over Houston. They beat Kent and Vermont, both quality teams at home. So that is my top 25. If you're asking who the next 5 out was, I think I just tweeted it out. I think it was Illinois was the first team out. I was a little disappointed in them last week with their performance against Oakland. They haven't played anybody. Mississippi State was right there too. Nevada, UCF, and hopefully Pitt loses a game so I don't have to put their filthy logo on my graphics. So those are my next 5. Ole Miss is right there as well. Just trying to think of some other undefeated teams that have been okay that maybe are knocking on the door. Dayton's is right there. Iowa is right there. I guess you could put Miami and Ole Miss as well. So, Penn State and Oregon. Although Oregon did look like shit the other night. So, yeah, that's my top 25. Let me get over to the chat real quick here. But first, let's talk about my Underdog Fantasy, baby. Get on over there to Underdog Fantasy and use that promo code TCESGPN. We'll be giving out an underdog play here in about 10 minutes over here on the College Basketball Experience for the Preview and Pick Show. Claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Underdog Fantasy, promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football, NFL, and college basketball now with Rhythm. Get on over there and claim your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right, let me get to as many as I can in the chat. Nathan asked about a one-teamer. Cannabis Capper. Let's go, Cal. Mason, I mean, what has Illinois done to warrant being ranked? They haven't played anybody, and they struggled with an Oakland team that isn't very good the other night. Like I said, they're in the top. They're in my next 5 out. More than happy to put them in. Who do they got coming up? Illinois, just out of curiosity. Illinois has Alabama on Wednesday. Beat Alabama, you're easily into the top 20, top 15. Neil asked about Arkansas. I didn't have Arkansas in there last week. I don't know how good Arkansas is. I know that they got a nice win over not North Alabama, Troy the other night, but they still don't have that marquee win. They're only a game really of substance. They lost to Baylor. So Arkansas probably in that 30 to 40 range right now for me. I think they're okay. They're in my NCAA tournament, but I can't put them in my top 25 right now. No, I disagree, Neil. LSU won on the road at K-State. That's a marquee win. And until LSU drops a game, they should be ranked, in my opinion, for getting a Power 5 win on the road. Izzo, Texas A&M. Tyler, I thought about A&M. A&M is kind of in that next 5, but I would have to rank UCF if I'm going to rank A&M. And UCF beat A&M shorthanded, may I add, at the Bounce House. I thought about it, but I stayed away. A&M on the outside looking in. They're a big win or a solid win away from cracking it, so not too far. They're an NCAA tournament team. Yes, I do agree with you, Girth, that Storr and Dickinson, they got a lot of defense that they need to add to. What else we got? Corpus Christi, San Fran, Memphis. That is a big game this week. Can't wait for that one. Alabama. Here we go. What do we got? Alabama. I mean, how do you knock Alabama for losing at Mackey? Everybody loses at Mackey. So I don't know how you knock that loss. I'm not gonna. I don't kill teams for scheduling hard and then they lose a tough game on the road. What do we got? Cannabis Capper, Florida at 18, Creighton at 19. Do you think Florida would beat Creighton? That's a good question. I probably would take Creighton, but Florida's got the better resume, so I knocked them up there. I think Creighton's still trying to find themselves with Pop Isaacs. Gonzaga, San Diego State's a big-time game tomorrow. And, yeah, Caleb Carter. Yeah, this is the appetizer. The pick show is going live here in about, 2-3 minutes. So appreciate you guys rocking with me. I want to just give a little top 25 before the polls are released tomorrow. We'll see how they rank how they compare to mine. So that's all I got for tonight. Just a little quick here on TCE trim headed into the week of November 18th. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you go subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. Go subscribe to the College Football Experience, College Baseball Experience, Big 12 Experience, Ryan and Russ Show, all the good stuff. Sports Gambling Podcast Network. That's all I got on this edition of the College Basketball Experience. Make sure you guys we'll go hop in that chat right now because we are going live for the preview and pick show here in about a couple minutes. This has been another edition of Mac Tonight, signing off over here at the College Basketball Experience for about 60 seconds. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here.